Say again? Yeah, go ahead.
That didn't take long, did it?
Yeah, but that other group, they're combative, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They didn't cooperate. These guys, they cooperated.
The other group took off running. How many?
Dude, it's over 20.
Over 20? Really? I'm Jim.
Okay, step over here, sir, off the road. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, no, you're okay.
Sí, Paso, Texas. No se demora la patrulla fronteriza, así que aquí no bajo control.
Hey guys, it's Jim, obviously down here on the border, and we had a group that crossed behind Monument 1, and they crossed into the city street, and part of the group cooperated and obviously sat down and surrendered. That's this part here. The other part of the group actually took off running, about 20 people. So they're actually out there. They were described to me as combative. So they didn't want to be caught. They didn't want to be. They didn't want to surrender with the asylum. Half of them did, half of them didn't. So we've got a lot of people out here right now.
Yeah.
And
then I saw the two. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna.
yeah, the train slowed down because it's, you know, there's people out there, and
Hey, brother, you gotta keep breaking moving.
Yeah. Cuando llegué a patrulla
actually they crossed right behind Monument 1. They went through the river, and yeah, they made it into the city. So we're dealing with both Border Patrol, and then of course you also have the local police department here, because now they're in the city and they were running. Half of them sat down like they normally do and did their, you know, their thing they do for asylum, where they surrender, and the other half took off running. And so obviously there's people out there looking. There's a train going by very slow. We kind of have half a manhunt going on here as well.
Making our way over there, Paso was closed.
Háganse para acá, por favor. Háganse más para acá, los que están allá. Háganse más hacia acá. No tengan miedo.
Do you know how far off the deck is you said that? Looks like executive is going to go out there and get out of here.
So just for you guys that know, that follow this, we were down at Monument 1 and we had a very large group of about 40 people that crossed behind Monument 1. They went through the river. They came out onto the road here and half of them surrendered, half of them didn't. Half took off running. Obviously you guys know what that means. When they don't surrender to Border Patrol, there's a very good likelihood that they're trying not to get caught. And there's usually a reason for that.
Yeah, brother, you cruising the area up here? Yeah, I'm over here, Cold area now. I think I want to come down here. Hey, careful. You spot them, call out the 20, we'll respond in numbers. Yeah. I always have something requesting EMS. Can we get an aid to that something? Unless you're going to read it, huh?
So just to show you guys, this fence here, if you actually walk through this fence and you go about a half a mile, you're going to be at Monument 1, okay? And so what they decided to do, because the police officer was at Monument 1, is they decided to go behind Monument 1 and they crossed the river because the river's not full. And so what they do then is they come in down here, down at the end of here, and they go through the fence. You see where you see the flashing light down there? And then basically they just ran out onto the road like this. They were stopped over here, and then, like I said, half of them surrendered. The other half took off running. Now here's the problem. You guys see we got this big long train going by here. So not only does that give them opportunity to jump a train if they want to, but the train also provides cover. So if half the group is on the other side of that train, okay, now it makes it difficult for the people that are here to actually be able to get anything going on the train. So it's going to be interesting to see how this actually works and plays out. Like I said, that train is moving real slow. I mean real slow. So yeah, you can see as it's going by, it's moving super slow. Like I said, you never know. You never know if they're going to be asylum seekers. You never know if you never know who's in these groups. You don't know until everybody's actually put together and sent off to processing, you know. And then even then, like I told you guys before, there's limited background information on a lot of the people coming in, because unless they, you know, have some kind of major record or Interpol information, a lot of these people don't show up on the background checks. So we got a lot of people coming in, lots and lots. So like I said, if there's a will, there's a way. They're always going to try to find a way to cross. But for those of you that are watching this for the first time, I'm going to be a little bit repetitive, but you know, we need to change the asylum laws in our country. Basically right now, we kind of have an open border policy. If you make it across the border, you're going to get processed. You're going to get a court date that probably won't happen for 5 to 7 years. After 5 or 6 months, they're going to issue you a work permit. Now, having a work permit, you guys know what the next step to that is. You have to pay taxes, right? So then you get issued a similar social security number, and you do the math from there. Yes, this is in El Paso. We got the trains picking up a little bit here. The other thing that you find too now is that a lot of the single males that are coming in, they're coming in and basically they're taking children. We've talked about this, recycling children, renting children. It's one big part of the crisis that not a lot of people talk about. The children are being affected because essentially even some of the more violent felons are believing that if they come in with the children, because of the laws we have, that they're going to be okay. And so we've even seen attempted child entry with MS-13 gang members, other people that have tried to use the children to get in. We have monetized children. We are supporting in our laws and these anti-border Democrats that don't believe we need a border, they are supporting a major child trafficking industry that's sponsored by the cartel. And make no mistake about it, if you show up to the border and you're by yourself and you're a man and you're a woman, they will, for a fee, sell you basically a package where you get a marriage certificate and then rent you a child that you can use to come across the border, and they call that a fake family unit. And what's been difficult with the children is, is that we've not been allowed to fingerprint them and take pictures. Now, there's some pilot programs that are going on right now in different parts of the Border Patrol where they're actually going to be trying some quick DNA testing. They're going to be doing some fingerprinting. But again, guys, here's the problem. You have thousands and thousands of people waiting in line with children to be processed. There's only a limited amount of time that these people can be held and get the processing done at the same time. So DNA instant test, that's very expensive. The fingerprinting, that will help a little bit, but you got to remember something. Just taking a child's fingerprint doesn't automatically tell that, hey, this kid doesn't belong to them. What it does help with is if they're recycling the kid and they're bringing the kid back and we have the prints on file, well, then you're actually able to go ahead and determine that, hey, this kid's been rented or this kid's been recycled. So there are victims in this. This isn't just about a humanitarian crisis. Only 10% of these people or less, when they actually get to a hearing, will actually qualify for legitimate asylum, okay? In other words, you have to meet what they call a credible fear. In other words, you're running from something, there's something going on, there's a threat to your life, you're actually escaping something that's real, that's valid. Yep. And you have to be able to do that in order to actually, claim asylum. If you're not doing that, then obviously you're not going to be able to, you're going to be able to take advantage of our law. You're going to be here for 5 or 7 years.
Can you move it?
You might have an anchor baby. You might get married. Things might happen, or you might just disappear into the cracks of society and they'll never find you. But make no mistake, the President of the United States declared a national emergency on the U.S. border. Now, where I'm at, I'm in the Sunland Park area of New Mexico. You guys have probably all seen what happened down here. We've been called vigilantes, militia. We've been called everything in the book, from pointing guns at little children to all kinds of stuff. But the fact of the matter is, we're just down here documenting the actual crisis on the border. And you guys have been helping us out by sharing these videos. You've been actually, making sure that people see what's going on and can share what's going on. And, that's the biggest thing here. I mean, that's the biggest story of all. We have to wake up America that this is not going to fix itself. This is actually something that, people are going to have to get behind the Congress. They're going to have to get behind other people, to make law changes that are actually going to stop this. Until we stop it, or we build some wall, or we do something different, nothing's going to change. And so the bottom line, America, is we've got to keep sharing these videos. We've got to keep getting this information out. We got to let people know exactly what's really going on the border, because the anti-Democrat liberals, like the governor of New Mexico, who refuses to acknowledge that this is a crisis, she gets together with the ACLU. They make up a bunch of lies about who we are and what we do. And at the end of the day, we're just showing you guys and telling you guys the truth. And after all, I mean, don't you guys deserve the truth? Okay? If they're afraid of what we're showing you, then you know what? That's on them. That's not on us. So, just wanted to tell you guys, it's still going on. It's still happening. Things are still happening on the border. And the bottom line is that nothing's going to change it. Nothing's going to stop it unless you guys share these videos and wake up America to the fact that we have a problem down here. The Border Patrol is overstrained. El Paso sector is overcapacitated. There's too many people being put into the processing centers. It's not a processing issue. It's an issue of changing the asylum laws and building border wall where we need it, and putting the Border Patrol back to work, guarding the border for national security reasons, and that's what they're supposed to do. They're not supposed to be Ubering people all over the country to the hospital and to everything else. So with that being said, this is Jim. I'll talk to you guys later. You guys all have a good night. Thank you.